Well, we are just about to commence this CCI one-star show jumping for the Blair Castle Equidrec International Horse Trials. CCI one-star, the final of 3 phases for these competitors.
1, 2, 1, 2.
And the first competitor that we will welcome into the arena is Jenny Cowan. Jenny rides Mr. T the second, number 160 in your programs. They bring forward a penalty score of 147.2.
That was literally you. No, it wasn't. That was a joint effort. Honestly, Georgina, I feel like your mum. She wouldn't have love. So everything's come down when they changed the course. They changed that.
They've changed it a little bit. I think they've put a couple more fences up.
Really? No, this is still the same. Yeah. Well, watch the hot water. Is this free? Yeah, that fence has changed. It wasn't pints before.
Well, that was inside the time. 16 jumping penalties there for Jenny Cowan and Mr. T the second. We welcome into the arena now Christopher Stead. Christopher rides number 138, Premier Lady Courage. Well, Premier Lady Courage by Courage the second, owned by Fran Stead. Well, that was 16 jumping penalties there, moves them onto a score of 148. Now in the arena, we have Katie Barber. Katie is riding Daytona Dreamer, owned by Stephen Rains. This 16-3 6-year-old gelding is by Cobra, and they have a carrying score of 129.5. Well, that was clear all the way for Katie Barber and Daytona Dream. They remain on 129.5. Now in the arena, it's Lucy Soda, number 113. She's riding Emma Soda and her own, the Full Monty the 8th, a 12-year-old skewboard gelding. They have a score of 127.5.
Not really, that's about as tight as it'll go.
Well, that was 8 jumping faults there for Lucy Soda and the Full Monty. They move on to 135.5, and an important announcement for competitors. The time in this show jumping has been reduced to 70 seconds. Time reduced to 70 seconds. Well, next to jump, it will be Victoria Lawyer for France. And Victoria brings forward number 153, Cobra de la Salme, a 9-year-old gelding that Victoria owns herself by Cicero Z. They have a score of 124.2. Well, that was 12 jumping penalties for Victoria Lawyer and Cobra de la Salme. They move on to a 3-phase total of 136.2. We now welcome into the arena for Great Britain number 210 in your programmes. This is Sally Kidd. Sally is riding the Rock City sired Just Ask Darcy. And Sally and Just Ask Darcy bring forward a penalty score of 123.4.
Sun's just at the back thingy. The sun's just drops onto the marquee in the background too. Drop it onto another ND. Am I alright? Are you filming on this one? Spell me a second. And I'll tell you for why, because you're on ND3, so let's put it down to F9.
Well, that was 16 jumping there for Sally Kidd and Just Ask Darcy. They complete on 139.4. Into the arena now, we welcome Anna McFadden. Anna rides Dr. Susan McFadden's Imperial Girl, a 7-year-old chestnut mare by Ballinvella Lad, number 146. They have a carrying score of 120.1.
Shall I just put the ND up a bit? Does that just go with a brighter, sharper picture? See how slow it is to focus on there?
Well, that was just the 4 penalties there. Moves them on to 124.1. Now in the arena, Laura Walton. Laura rides number 144, Cointreau WV, owned by Laura and Jane Lowerson. This is a 10-year-old chestnut gelding by Wizard. They have a carrying score of 119.8. Laura Walton and Cointreau WV for Great Britain. Well, that was just the 4 jumping penalties there for Laura Walton and Cointreau WV. They complete on 123.8. Now in the arena, we welcome Wills Oakton. Wills riding Greystone Rising Star, number 110. Wills rides this 7-year-old bay mare by Greystone Pathfinder for David Kenwright, and they have a carrying score of 113.1. Well, that was 8 faults added there for Wills Oakton and Greystone Rising Star. They complete on 121.1. Now in the arena, it's Georgina Nichols. Georgina is number 176 in your programs. She's riding her own God's Ground, a 10-year-old gelding by Presenting. They have a score of 110.4.
I've just found a switch on the camera. I've put it onto strip 2 and it's zoomed right in. It's the first time I've used this 3. Yeah. No, to be fair, Sue, it was a mad rush this morning. It was absolutely flat out. He has not stopped, to be honest, Sue. He has been packing all the gear away, sorting out everything. Yeah, but we were given the wrong time until about half an hour before we were due to set up. No, George was given the wrong time, I believe. All right, we were going for 12:30, but not to worry.
Well, that was 12 jumping and 2 time there for Georgina Nichols and God's Ground. They move on to 124.4 as their finishing total. Now in the arena, we welcome Sorrel Feather. Sorrel is riding quite easy, number 196. Sorrel riding for Sheila Rogers and this 10-year-old grey gelding by Quite Capital. They have a score of 109.7. Well, that was 24 jumping penalties for Sorrel Feather and Quite Easy. They complete on a 3-phase total of 133.7. Now in the arena, we welcome David Gatherer. David is riding number 188. This is Sheena Welsh and David Gatherer's Fugly III. 9-year-old chestnut mare by Ballino Night Cruise, and they have a score of 109.2.
This is going to be so tight. It's very hard to call.
He's 24 seconds down on the clock. He's going to need the crowd to cheer him on. Will it be a British win?
Well, that was 12 jumping there for David Gatherer and Fugly. They move on to 121.2. Now in the arena, it's Louise Harwood. Louise is riding number 111, Dovevale Lawman, a Mill Law side 8-year-old gelding who brings forward a score of 103.7. Louise Harwood, Dovevale Lawman for Great Britain. Well, that was 4 jumping and 3 time, moves them on to a finishing total of 110.7 for Louise Harwood and Dovevale Lawman. Now in the arena, it's number 184, Heidi Candibacalis with the Wickstead Didgeridoo side. Wickstead Octavia, 9-year-old bay mare, and they have a carrying score of 97.6.
It's all set up wrong. I ain't got time to use this one. It's like pushing a tank around, it's solid as a rock.
Well, that was 12 jumping there for Heidi Candibacalis and Wickstead Octavia. They move on to a score of 109.6.
Do you want me to pan round to the right so I can see where the horse is?
Now in the arena, it's Porrig McCarthy with Liz Scott's Moorland Magic. This 9-year-old chestnut gelding is by Velt, and he is owned by Liz Scott. Porrig representing Ireland with Moorland Magic, and they have a score of 94.9. Well, that was 8 jumping there for Parag McCarthy and Moreland Magic. They complete on 102.9. In the arena now for Great Britain, it's Susanna Watts. Susanna rides Nikki Cooper's Fly the Flag, who's by Rebel Flag Mount. 7-year-old gelding has a score of 88.6. .16 jumping and 2 time there for Susanna Watts and Fly the Flag. They complete on 106.6. That will move them down a place. As into the arena now comes number 136 in your programs. This is Elspeth Jameson. Elspeth rides the Welcome Flag Mount side gelding Dasset Cooley designed. They have a score of 86.9 for Great Britain. Well, that was 4 jumping and 1 time for Elspeth Jameson, Dasset Cooley designed. They complete on 91.9. That maintains their position at the moment. We now welcome Caroline Powell into the arena for New Zealand. She's riding Pat Melvin Evans' Stracathro Solitary Mistral, 8-year-old mare by Solitaire. 85.9 their score. Well, that was 8 jumping penalties there for Caroline Powell and Stracathro Solitary Mistral for New Zealand. They complete on 93.9. That moves Elspeth Jameson, Dasset Cooley designed upper place. We now welcome Douglas Crawford into the Equitrek main arena. He's riding Sarah Brownlee's Crime Scene, 10-year-old gelding, Buy for Pleasure. They have a carrying score of 84.3.
Right, can you go to Blair? And I'll just go wide and try and readjust this camera trap. I can't get it to go forward. It's all angled. It's all angled.
Well, just about to jump then. Crime Scene, Douglas Crawford for Great Britain, 84.3.
Can you send him out when he's got a minute? It needs sorting. It's like pushing a piece of concrete on his shoulder. I'll put it back for now, and then if you send George out. Thank you.
Oh, just the 4 penalties at the last for Douglas Crawford and Crime Scene. They move on to 88.3, will maintain their position. Next to jump, it's James Rushbrook with Selin New BK. Bringing forward a score of 78.8 for Great Britain. Selin New BK owned by James, and this 6-year-old gelding is by Ojala Eye.
You know the white trade stands. So it's going to vary as you zoom in and out. You see what I mean? Unless I put it up another ND.
But I don't know where they've gone. I swear my dad said it was that old.
I know, it could just be the angle for the background, you see. But I don't know. I could try another ND if you want. I think I've got one more. I'll just leave it for now, yeah. I'll just stay fairly tight. Was it the same problem yesterday, Claire? I can feel the ladders going, so I think George is here. So can you tell me when I can just shoot wide when you go over to Claire? George. Right, George, this camera, it's all out of balance. If I get those up there, that's as far as I can do. Long. It's just pulling back all the time.
Well, that was 8 jumping and 2 time there for James Rushbrook. They move on to a total score of 88.8. Well, that will just drop them down a place behind Douglas Crawford and Crime Scene. In the arena now, it's Alex Postolovsky for Great Britain with Joe and Sophie Aylmer's Denver the 8th. This 9-year-old gelding by numero uno. They have a carrying score of 78.3.
We're going to have to be careful, especially when those horses are going past, because we cannot disturb them. Not live, are you?
Yeah, referee stopped the fight and
Well, that was clear jumping, but 1 time there for Alex Postolovsky and Denver the 8th. They move on to a score of 79.3. In the arena now, it's Caroline Basnett. She rides Late Gold Futures, an 11-year-old gelding that Caroline owns herself. He's by Radolin, and they have a score currently of 77.6. Well, that was 24 jumping there for Caroline Basnett and Late Gold Futures. They complete on 101. In the arena, we welcome Stephanie O'Neill, number 183. She's riding Ardio Fun Size, a horse she owns herself. He's a 7-year-old gelding by Ramiro B. 73.7 their overnight score. Well, just inside the time there. 4 jumping penalties. Stephanie O'Neill and RDO Fun Size. They complete on 77.7. Now in the arena, it's Pumba Goose Saru, number 123, with Countess Susie Goose Saru's jumbo sired mare 6 for gold. They have an overnight score of 73.4 for Great Britain. Well, that was 8 jumping and 2 time there for Pumba Goose Saru and 6 for gold. They complete on 83.4, just drops them down a couple of places. Well, now in the arena, it's Hannah Graves for Great Britain. Hannah rides the Carolus sired 10-year-old mare Crackerjack BS. They have a score of 73.3. Well, a wonderful clear round there for Hannah Graves and Crackerjack BS. They complete on 73.3. That setting the standard for those who've completed. As now in the arena, it's number 206. This is Caitlin Padfield with her own 14-year-old bay gelding Chapel Down. 72.7 their overnight score. Well, that was the 16 jumping there for Caitlin Padfield and Chapel Down. They complete on 88.7.
Background already. Yeah?
Now in the arena, it's Mark Davidson. Mark rides the Striding Edge Syndicate's Striding Edge for Great Britain. Score for them of 72. Striding Edge, a 9-year-old brown gelding by Kemfoy. Well, that was clear all the way there for Mark Davidson and Striding Edge. They remain on their score of 72. We now welcome into the arena Porrig McCarthy, second ride for Porrig, and he's competing out of order due to a ride in the Event Rider Masters cross country. Porrig is riding Liz Scott's 5 Brie, number 209, and they carry a score of 50.2 and lie in 18th position. Well, that was 12 jumping, moves Porrig McCarthy and 5 Brie for Ireland onto a score of 62.2. They are our current clubhouse leaders then, as we now welcome into the arena back in our published order John Thornton with Julie Wiley's Delaya, this 14-year-old mare by Vancouver Dovray, and they have a score of 71.9. Well, clear all the way there for John Thornton and Delia. They remain on 71.9. Now in the arena, we have Chantal Siddle. Chantal rides number 211 Codaline. They have a score of 70.5. This 9-year-old skewboard gelding by Cavalier 2 for Joy, Chantal Siddle and Codaline for Great Britain. Well inside the time and clear over all the fences. Chantal Siddle and Codaline remain on 70.5. Sarah Fachney next with Howard's Hope. Number 192, 12-year-old Chestnut Gelding has a carrying score of 69.3. Oh, well, very sadly, that is elimination for Sarah and Howard's Hope. Good to see Sarah up on her feet and Howard's Hope, well, enjoying his freedom. Just about to be caught. Well, hopefully we'll see Sarah and Howard's Hope later on the season. Well, now in the arena, it's Henny Cooper. Henny rides the 19-year-old grey gelding, Valentino III. By non-stop, this combination have a score of 68.8. Number 180 in your programs, Henny Cooper, Valentino III for Great Britain. Well, that's just the one rail lowered. 4 penalties. moves on to a total score of 72.8. Well, that will drop them 3 places. So the rails now starting to become very expensive in this CCI one-star competition as we welcome into the arena Grantstown Harry. Grantstown Harry is ridden by Louisa Milne-Hugh. 60.9 their score. This combination out of order due to a clash with another ride. Well, that was 8 jumping 1 time, sees them complete on 69.9. Well, that will move them down a place, at least 1 place at the moment. Now in the arena, we have Craig Waite. Craig rides Ronald Smith's Syrian. 68.1. Their score. Syrian, a 10-year-old bay gelding by Montreal. This combination representing Great Britain. Well, that was 12 jumping there for Syrian and Craig Waite. They complete on 80.1. Just drops them down several places. Into the arena now. It's Sam Arthur McGuinness and Springtime Jazz. Number 200. 67.8 their starting score. Springtime Jazz by Schiller. Well, that was the 2 rails lowered, 8 added then for Springtime Jazz, Sam Arthur McGuinness. They complete on 75.8. Next we welcome Pauline Herbert. Pauline rides her own Van Zelf. 67.5 their overnight score. Van Zelf 15 years old now, and he is by Hold Up Premier. Pauline Herbert Van Zelf for Great Britain, 67.5. Well, that was the 4 rails down, 16 added. They complete on 83.5. Well, next to jump, it's Katie McGee. Katie rides Enceladus, bringing forward a score of 51.8. So jumping out of order, that's due to Katie's ride in the Event Rider Masters. Enceladus, Katie McGee, 51.8. Well, just inside the time and clear all the way, so they remain on 51.8. And that is our clubhouse leader. They were jumping way out of order. So that's our clubhouse leader now. Now into the arena, we welcome Greg Kinsella. Greg rides Richard Ames Watermill Rocks for Ireland. The 6-year-old gelding by Watermill Swatch, 65.8 their 2-phase score. Well, that was 8 penalties there for Greg Kinsella and Watermill Rocks. They therefore complete on 73.8. In the arena now, Katie Anderson with the Ashfield Romeo side. 10-year-old gelding Cool Drum and Mist for Great Britain, 65.7, their overnight score. Well, that was 8 jumping and 1 time there for Katie Anderson and Cool Drum and Mist. They complete on 74.7. Now in the arena, number 127, Jodie Neal. Jodie rides her own Quantum Clover Gold, an 11-year-old chestnut mare by Clover Echo. 65, their overnight score. Number 127, Quantum Clover Gold for Great Britain. Well, the 8 penalties added there for Jodie Neal and Quantum Clover Gold. They complete on 73. Now in the arena, Laura Varty-Lindsay. She's riding her own and David Varty's Quick Jagem, 7-year-old mare by Jetem Flamenco. 65, their overnight score. Number 201 for Great Britain, Quick Jagem and Laura Varty-Lindsay. Well, that was 12 faults there for Laura Varty-Lindsay and Quick Shajem. They complete on 77. Well, now in the arena, it is Morven Pringle. Morven rides number 172. Goodbye to Money. Well, this combination competing out of order. They have an overnight score of 52.5. Goodbye to Money, number 172. Morven riding for Richard Monroe. Well, that was the 12 penalties there for Morven Pringle, and Goodbye to Money. They complete on a three-phase total of 64.5. That puts them into third place in terms of our clubhouse, but plenty more combinations to come. Well, now in the arena, it's Joanna Nielsen with CES Silver Chip, 8-year-old grey gelding by Chipperson. 64.1 their overnight score. Joanna Nielsen, CES Silver Chip for Great Britain. Well, that was 8 faults there for Joanna Nielsen and CES Silver Chip. They complete on 72.1. Harris Ritchie now in the arena with Atlantic Vital Spark. This 7-year-old gelding by Atlantic Sparky, bringing forward a score of 63. Atlantic Vital Spark, Harris Ritchie for Great Britain. Well, that was 16 faults there for Harris Ritchie and Atlantic Vital Spark. They complete on 79. Now in the arena, number 181, Edelweiss and Iona Campbell. Iona riding this 8-year-old gelding she owns herself. He's by Aerobic. 62.8 their overnight score. Well, that was 12 jumping for Iona Campbell and Edelweiss. They complete on 74.8. Now in the arena, Oliver Townend. Oliver is presenting Shearwater Insurance's Shearwater Hello. 6-year-old gelding by Kroongraaf. 62, their overnight score. They're number 105. Well, that was clear all the way for Oliver and Shearwater Hello. They remain on 62, and that goes second in terms of our clubhouse leaderboards for those who have completed. Ilana Chilton now in the arena. Number 141 in your programs. Ilana rides the Cavalier Royale side gelding, a Touch Cavalier, 61.1 their overnight score. Well, that was 20 faults there, which moves the Touch Cavalier and Alana Chilton onto a finishing total of 81.1. Now in the arena, Lindsay Stewart with Tartan Chill, 10-year-old grey gelding by Chill Out, 61, their overnight score. Well, a lovely clear round all the way there for Lindsay Stewart and Tartan Chill. They remain on their overnight score of 61. They go second on our clubhouse leaderboard for those who've completed. And next in the arena, it's Jennifer Stead. She's riding Fran Stead and Sarah Burton's Fortunus. On a score of 61 overnight, this 8-year-old gelding by Heritage Fortunus. Well, 8 penalties to complete on a score of 69 there for Fortunus and Jennifer Stead. Now in the arena, Louisa Milhume with Cinque Terre, number 171. Olivia Morrison owns this 9-year-old bay mare by El Bundy. Cinque Terre, Louisa Milhume, an overnight score of 60.6. Just that one rail lowered, so completing on 64.6, Cinque Terre and Louisa Milne-Hume. Now in the arena, Harriet Wright. Harriet with Polly Chiverton's Skeheens, an 11-year-old bay gelding by Amelinx. 59, their overnight total. Eight jumping there, sees Skeheens and Harriet Wright complete on 67. Apologies, correction, 8 plus 1 time there, so they complete on 68. Now jumping, Martha Todd. Martha with Dr. Jane Crossley's Dancing Revolution, 9-year-old gelding by Revolution, 58, their two-phase score. Jumping faults there leaves them on a score of 70. Now in the arena, it's another ride for Wills Oakton. Wills rides number 169, Victoria Mackay's Power Blazer, 7-year-old gelding by Power Blade. They have an overnight score of 56.1. Well, that was 8 faults there for Wills Oakton and Power Blazer. They complete on 64.1. That will drop them 4 places. Hugo Jones and Alex Hill next to jump. Hugo Jones, owned by Paul Newbert, they bring forward a score of 54.8. Hugo Jones and Alex Hill for Great Britain. Well, that was 8 jumping there for Alex Hill and Hugo Jones. They therefore complete on 62.8. Well, that puts them in 5th place at the moment for those who've completed. Now in the arena, it's Kirsty Johnston with her own Caroline Keynes and Denny Russell's Opposition Hemera, a 7-year-old mare by Utopian Opposition, 54.8, their overnight score. Well, that was clear ground there for Kirsty Johnston and Opposition Hemera. They remain on 54.8, and that goes second at the moment in terms of those who finished. Well, now jumping, it's Georgia Campbell. Georgia rides her own Whisperwood Overdraft. Monte Carlo side gelding has a score of 54.8. 12 penalties there for Georgia Campbell and Whisperwood Overdraft to complete on a three-phase total of 66.8. Next, it is Wizard from Oz. Wizard from Oz, owned by Pat Hughes, written by Jessica Moody. 53.5 their overnight score. Well, that was 20 jumping and 7 time there for Jessica Moody. They therefore complete on 80.5. Now we welcome into the Equitrek main arena Alison West. Alison brings forwards Margot Kennedy's Blair's Ambassador. 8-year-old mare by Welton Ambassador. 53.4 their overnight score. Blair's Ambassador, Alison West for Great Britain. Oh, just the 4 penalties at the final fence sees Alison West and Blair's Ambassador move on to a total of 57.4, and that drops them down a place. Entilada's Katie McGee still leading the way in the clubhouse. Next to jump, it's Kirsten Bamford with Gummies Twinkling. 53 their overnight score. Gummies Twinkling, an 11-year-old bay gelding by Quadrillo. Kirsten Bamford, Gummies Twinkling for Great Britain. Well, a clear round there for Kirsten Bamford and Gummies Twinkling. They complete on their dressage score of 53, and they go second at the moment. Jamie Atkinson for Great Britain next, number 145. Jamie rides Sahir Tapaz Gonzalez, 6-year-old gelding by Baltic VDL. 51.2 their overnight score. Gonzalez, Jamie Atkinson for Great Britain. A great clear round there for Jamie Atkinson and Gonzalez for Great Britain. They remain on their dressage score of 51.2, and that is our new leader in the clubhouse, Jamie Atkinson and Gonzalez. Now in the arena, it's Bill Levitt. Bill is riding Mighty Tara for Leslie Smith, 7-year-old brown mare by Kaif Tara. This combination jumping out of order due to Bill's ride in the Event Rider Masters, and they are in overnight 6th place on 45.5. Well, that was 12 volts there for Bill Levitt and Leslie Smith's Mighty Tara for Australia. They move on to a total score of 57.5, and they go into 6th place at the moment. Now in the arena, Emily Parker for Great Britain with Douglas and Deborah Page's Mile High. 7-year-old grey gelding by Hannah Belfan over a Z. 49.3 their overnight score. Well, that was 12 penalties there for Emily Parker and Mile High. They complete on 61.3. These penalties every rail down proving really costly now. As we come towards, or we're into the top 15 of this CCI One Star. Next to jump, it's Lydia Hannon for Great Britain with Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Harris's Caesar's Gold. An 8-year-old gelding by Golden Master, 49.2, their overnight score. Lydia Hannon, Caesar's Gold for Great Britain. Well, that was 4 jumping, just the one rail lowered there for Lydia Hannon and Caesar's Gold. They therefore move on to a total score of 53.2, and that drops them down 3 places. Now in the arena, it's Christopher Burton for Australia. Now he is jumping out of order. He's riding Sue Lawson's Lawtown Boy. Overnight, they are in 4th place. So Christopher Burton, Lawtown Boy for Australia on 43.4 in 4th place overnight. Well, that was 4 faults there for Lawtown Boy. They complete on 47.4. That's our new leader. But those 4 penalties just opened the door for another competitor to climb up the leaderboard. Now in the arena, it's Ashburton. Owned by Sarah Reeve, this 7-year-old mare is ridden by Alex Postolovsky for Great Britain. 48.9, their carrying score. Well, just the 4 penalties for Alex Postolowski and Ashburton. They complete on a 3-phase total of 52.9. Well, that is costly. It drops them down 2 places. Lordtown boy Christopher Burton still leading the way on 47.4. Now in the arena, Katie Barber once again. She's already jumped 1 clear round. She's bringing forward David Mees, Don Miko now on a score of 48.4. 8-year-old gelding by Beowulf. Don Miko, Katie Barber for Great Britain, 48.4. Well, 100th of a second inside the time. Clear round there for Katie Barber and Don Miko. They remain on 48.4 and they therefore go second in the clubhouse. We now move into the top 10 and welcome Emma Murray with Sean Murray's Wainthrop into the arena. 7-year-old mare by White Magician. This combination have a score of 48.3. Four penalties there for Emma Murray and Wainthrop to complete on 52.3. That puts them in 5th place for the moment as Oliver Townend comes back into the arena with Tim Boland's Cooley Down Under this time. 6-year-old gelding brings forward a score of 47. Cooley Down Under and Oliver Townend in 9th position overnight on 47. Well, clear round there for Oliver Town and for Great Britain with Cooley Down Under. They complete on 47, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our new leader in this CCI 1-star. Into the arena now on a score of 46. Polly Stockton for Great Britain with Julia Kinsey and Denise Halstead's Great Town. 10-year-old gelding by Great Palm. They have that score of 46 and 4 penalties for every rail down. So can't afford a rail at all. Well, that was 8 jumping there for Polly Stockton and Great Town. They complete therefore on 54. Now we welcome into the arena Hayden Hankey. Hayden rides You've Got the Lux, 45.8, their overnight score for Great Britain. Well, 4 penalties there for Hayden Hankey. Completes on 49.8, and that drops them into 4th place at the moment. Well, we now move into the top 5 in this CCI 1-star competition. And Liz Halliday-Sharp will be the first to jump of that top 5. Liz Halliday-Sharp for the United States of America, riding Gorsil Cooley, a 7-year-old gelding Liz owns herself, and he's by VDL Arkansas. 44.7 their overnight score. Well, a clear round there, well inside the time for Liz Halliday-Sharp for the United States with Gorshill Cooley. So they are our new leaders in this CCI one-star competition. Score to beat 44.7. We welcome Emily King into the arena for Great Britain with Jane Dalmissier's Amadeus II, 7-year-old gelding by Armand. 43.5 their overnight score. Well, inside the time, 8 jumping penalties, however, so they move on to a total of 51.7, and that drops them way down the leaderboard, I'm afraid. Now in the arena, Kirsty Johnston for Great Britain with number 103, the Daisy Chain Syndicate's Opposition Loire, 6-year-old mare by Opposition Heracles, 42.6 their score. Well, that was 4 jumping and 3 time there for Kirsty Johnston and Opposition Loire. They complete on 49.6. And that drops them into 5th place at the moment. Last 2 then. In 2nd place overnight we have Emily Parker with Mr. D. McTaggart's Highly Delighted, an 8-year-old gelding by Verdi, 42.2 their overnight score. Highly Delighted for Great Britain. Oh, a fabulous round there, clear all the way for Emily Parker and Highly Delighted. They complete on their dressage score of 42.2. For Great Britain, they go into the lead. So with just one left to go, our overnight leader, Carlos Parro, enters the arena with Zebra Products Limited's Sir Digby. 42.1, their overnight score. Carlos Parro, Sir Digby for Brazil on a score of 42.1. Well, just the back rail there of fence 3, 4 penalties, and they complete therefore on 46.1. That drops them 2 places to finish 3rd. Highly Delighted and Emily Parker, our winners of the CCI one-star competition here at the Blair Castle Equitrek International Horse Trials. So we'll just bring you those final results very shortly. But the prize giving for this CCI one-star will follow very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because the prize giving for this CCI one-star will take place very shortly. Well, just running down the top 10, in 10th place for Great Britain on a score of 51.5, Emily King and Amadeus II. 9th place to Jamie Atkinson. Jamie with Gonzalez on a score of 51.2. In 8th place, You've Got the Lux, Hayden Hankey for Great Britain on 49.8. 7th to Kirsty Johnston for Great Britain with Opposition Loire, 49.6, their finishing total. 6th place to Katie Barber with Don Miko, they're on 48.4. 5th to Christopher Burton for Australia with Lawtown Boy, 47.4, their finishing total. In 4th, just 0.4 ahead, Oliver Townend and Cooley Down Under on 47. In 3rd place on 46.1, Carlos Parro for Brazil, our overnight leader with Sir Digby, 46.1, their finishing total. In 2nd place, runners-up, Elizabeth Halliday Sharp for the United States of America with Gorsil Cooley. They complete on 44.7. But it's a win for Emily Parker for Great Britain with Highly Delighted, 42.2, their finishing score. Well, we just need to collate the special prizes for this CCI one-star competition, and we will bring you the prize giving for this CCI one-star just as soon as possible. We will then, after we've completed the prize giving for this CCI one-star, move on to the CCI two-star show jumping, which will follow that CCI one-star prize giving. Well, we will be requiring the top 10 competitors to enter the arena with their horses. So top 10 will be required for the prize giving on their horses, just the top 10.